Greetings everyone, Zannrath here, and welcome to some extended play of this week's Tavern Brawl Cloneball. And after I recorded my Tavern Brawl video, I decided to play a couple more games because it was pretty fun. And this match was kind of interesting, so I decided to share it, and I'm here in post providing some commentary. And so first of all, I decided to go with the Priest because in my Tavern Brawl video, I talked about the whatever that legendary was, where you hero power, you can summon a random legendary, and of course, in conjunction, if you can, with the Sneeds, lots of random legendaries to be had, right? And so I guess we'll see if we actually get either of those two legendaries in this match. But basically, I was trying to go for those, random legendaries because, you can only get, I think it's 7. I think I counted 7 legendaries in this match. I thought it was going to be 6, so 5 copies of each. But it actually turns out, I'm pretty sure to be 7, so that leaves you with 2 cards. So I think 2 of those would be offensive plays. But I think in this match I actually have more than that in terms of offensive plays. So here, drawing into a Cho, I was considering throwing it out just to kind of counter his offensive play, right? Because he coined tapped on his first turn, so it doesn't seem like he has a very good hand, or he doesn't have a legendary that he could have played with the offensive play. So I wanted to be a little bit greedy and block that play because I wanted to get my own offensive play off and get a Sylvanas before he can really kind of start developing a board. But I ended up drawing into a second offensive play and getting a free Sylvanas, so hey. And I throw out the Cho to potentially block his offensive play on 3, so he wouldn't be able to get out a 6-mana legendary. And so he's going to think about his play here, and ultimately he's going to go ahead and just give me the offensive play and throw down his own Sylvanas for 3 mana. Mine actually costs nothing, so I think I got the better end of that deal there. And so here, obviously, I can play offensive play and get out another minion, but I decide to kind of be a little bit greedy, thinking about whether I should do it or not. Ultimately, I'm going to end up trading my Sylvanas, giving him either of those 2 guys. Not a huge deal. I mean, Pagel probably wouldn't be, or be a little bit better than giving him the Cho, but he ends up stealing the Cho, so I'm going to throw out my own second Pagel rather, and then just hero power because might as well. And so he obviously has quite a lot of cards in hand. Doesn't look like he has another Sylvanas, otherwise he probably would have played it. But instead he goes ahead and taps, and I Pagel into another Pagel. And I get the Reno Jackson, which is kind of unfortunate because, how often is that really realistically going to be able to get off the activation? So, anyways, it's a card. It's still a 4/6 body, so, and it at some point theoretically could get some value. Gazlo here, probably not going to get much value. And I also wanted to point out, I think it's kind of funny that I played my Captain Greenskin, and then he also happened to have a Captain Greenskin. So we both had Sylvanas, and we both had Captain Greenskin. And so he throws down a Bolf, which I think is actually a pretty good card for Warlock, because he can tap and, not take any damage, and especially if he has, well, my theory right now is that it's 4 copies, right? So I throw down a Sylvanas, free, of course, and then try to get some power on the board, so I throw down the Behemoth instead of the Reno Jackson. I mean, I think my thinking was, well, at some point maybe I can get some value, so I'll hold this off. It's not that I necessarily wanted to get the the hero power squeezed in there. So he has 10 cards now, and he's kind of forced to make a play. We know he has both Captain Greenskin, Sylvanas for 3. He might also have another offensive play, but he may not be wanting to play that. So he throws down a second Bolf, and he's going to trade into my Hemet. That was partly why I wanted to do that, I think, right? He can get a clean kill on the Bolf, but it doesn't really matter because I have the Sylvanas Gazlo to kill him anyways. And here I draw into another offensive play. The other one in my hand on the far left was from the Cho, so I think this is actually my 3rd one. So I'm not too sure exactly how things work out, because if it was 7 legendaries, which I think we've seen all of them at this point. Let's see, Sylvanas, Pagel, Gazlo, Reno, Cho, Greenskin, and Hemet, right? So that's 7. If we have 4 copies each, it's 28. And so I'm not sure. I guess that's either. Actually, I'm not too sure about that because I think during one of my matches I drew into an offensive play, but it didn't count as drawing a card from my deck, or maybe I moused over it too quickly and it actually is. So I don't know. Anyways, 3 offensive plays in my deck. Because I used 2 for Sylvanas, obviously, and I drew 1. And then the far left one, obviously, is from the Cho. So it looks like he's going to try to prevent some draws and start killing my Pagels. And so Pagel was kind of pissed, and so he fished up some cards there. And here, I don't think I've ever personally played against both. And so I didn't know how it worked, so I just attacked face because I thought I was going to deal damage to both of them. I don't know what the card text says, but that kind of seems like it should deal damage to both, right? Anyways, yeah, otherwise I would have been able to clear that if I knew that. So yeah, not exactly sure what the card text says. I think at this point, it was something like, whenever your hero whenever your hero takes damage, right, deal damage. So if that's the case, my interpretation of that would be, doesn't matter how many bolts you have when your hero takes damage. It takes damage. It's dead, not 1 wolf. So, anyways, Pagel drawing me a lot of cards. I think at some point I'm going to be kind of too inundated with cards, especially since I'm holding off on the offensive play. Obviously, I can, kill off his Lorewalker and get some cards out more efficiently and just win the game easily. But we don't want to ruin the Cho action. Actually, I guess I decided to kill it off. Because I wanted to steal his Bolf, not because I wanted to play the offensive. What's the card called again? Offensive play, something like that. And Ice Howl, surprisingly not a beast. I guess Yeti isn't a beast, and Ice Howl's kind of like a Yeti, so that makes sense, I suppose. Otherwise, I would have been able to get some sick value off of the Hemet there. So he throws down his Mech and Torque, or whatever the card is called. And here, at this point, it's basically just like, I more or less have this one right, and I could very easily just kind of push him to the point where he would just concede, I think, on this turn, right? I could have gotten him down to 6, but it's like, you know what? Kind of want to get some more interesting Cho offensive play action. We've only seen, I haven't been keeping count, but I think not all of his legendaries have been revealed yet. Maybe they have. So he goes ahead and plays his. That was his second, I think, offensive play. So here we go. I think this is his last legendary. So I was gonna play some Muklas, the corrupted version, gonna banana up, and it's interesting that he played that because I have obviously the Hemets. I don't think I have any in hand though, so that's pretty good on him. So I go ahead and trade in here, and obviously we trade in there. We don't go for lethal because that kind of ruins the fun. And I think at this point I'm considering. I have this basically down, right? So I just throw out the Sylvanas, throw out some Chos, and then I think I double offensive play. Yep, here we go. And I think at this point you kind of know what's happening. So yeah, so I give him a couple of offensive plays. I would have given him 6, but I don't remember how many cards he had in hand. So he had however many until 10. The Reno. And there's a Trog. So that would have been a nice card to have, given this this Cho action here. So throwing down the Sylvanas. I was like, wait, I haven't been paying attention to how many legendaries he's played or types. He could have a Deathwing, but the Sylvanas actually kind of handles that quite nicely. And so here he's going to go ahead and return the favor on the offensive plays. I don't know. I'm actually not sure every... I think... Okay, so I haven't kept track. I think that was 3, which may or may not have been the best play, because if it was 3, I think this Mech and Torque is 6 mana, so he could have played 2, played both of the Mech and Torques, and then I think he's doing that now, right? He's going to get every card, every legendary of his is going to be severely discounted. Basically free, I mean, right? Ice Howl's going to come here, and I think actually at this point, I'm actually kind of worried because I only have 9 damage on board, so I can't actually lethal him if I want to. He has, what, 7, 12, 18 damage on board. Ice Howl can't. Oh, and yeah, just wanted to show off that Reno actually is active, which I think is pretty funny. So I was like, you know what? Might as well just go ham and hit him in the face, and then I'm going to trade a Sylvanas into one of his dudes. I think the Mukla makes the most sense to clear off some board presence. And I guess it doesn't really matter what I steal. There's like it's a 60% chance to steal something decent. I don't want the chicken. That's really bad. I don't want to draw more cards. The other dimension, pretty not great as well. But I ended up stealing the Ice Howl, so I think that was really fortunate for me. Still in a relatively decent position, I think. I mean, if I didn't steal something good, he very easily could have come back, because he could have traded his Ice Howl into one of the Renos, clear the other one, still potentially would have had one other dude in play, and then well, I guess he would have been able to clear all the threats off my board if I didn't steal the Ice Howl there. So RNG, worked out. Well, rather I chose to steal the Ice Howl because that was the best option for me, right? So it makes sense that I would have not misplayed there and stolen something else, right? Yeah. So stole the Ice Howl. I mean, he's being a really good sport about this, I think, to be quite honest. And he clears off the Ice Howl. Not really sure why. I mean, technically he could have prevented lethal by killing off one of the Reno Jacksons and still keeping a 6/2, which I mean I would be able to kill with the Ice Howl, because Ice Howl only attacks. Maybe he thought I would have, maybe he would have. He was playing around me misplaying and not attacking face with Ice Howl. Right. So he's going to go ahead and give me all these offensive plays back, and he throws out the Trogzor and a second one. And of course, that just means I have to oblige and return the favor and give all these offensive plays back. Buff his dudes like crazy, and he's going to throw out the rest of his hand, I believe. Still got more offensive plays. And a banana. Of course. So, I mean, obviously, lethal is on board. He goes ahead and taps. Whenever he plays, I don't remember if he plays this card or not. No, he doesn't. I guess he ran out of time. There goes Hemet. There goes Peggle. And, well, like I said, lethal is on board. And, I mean, given what I am doing now, I don't think there's anything I can do if I don't kill him here. So we're just going to go ahead and finish the match, finish the BM. Well, I guess the BM actually technically isn't over. So we'll just let you sit here and enjoy the fireworks, I suppose. Oh, are you guys still here? Did you actually like sit through and watch that whole thing, or did you just click to the end? Well, either way, thanks for watching, and until next time,